All right, houses before spouses. That's the idea behind the latest home buying trend for single and young first-time home buyers. The concept is friends buy a home together instead of getting married first and buying it with your wife. So associate broker at Retzi, Debbie Ponticus, joins us with more on the pressure that first-time home buyers feel. You know, it used to be, it's the American dream. Now it seems like it really is a dream for people because everything's so expensive.
It is. It's a challenging market right now for sure. And so really when you look at affordability, average rents in Maricopa County are about $2,200 a month. Then you go to look at, what if I want to buy my first home? Okay, well, a new first home buyer who's going to put about 5% down, looking at interest rates between 7 and 7.5%, you're going to have a mortgage around $3,200 a month. Ooh, so you look at the two options and you're like, well, it's better to rent.
Yeah.
But if you really do like this new concept, which I think is a genius idea of what I say going Dutch, right? Going in and splitting the cost of purchasing a home, what you're doing is you're paying yourself instead of paying someone else. So you're building equity and you're splitting the cost. So that $3,200 or $3,500 a month mortgage is now half the cost. So it can really be a great option for someone looking to try and build their real estate portfolio without paying rent.
So you're talking about splitting it with your friends, buying this house, maybe 2 people, 3 people, whatever you can afford. Then you live in the house, then what? I mean, what if at some point, obviously your life's going to change, you might get married or you decide you don't want a bunch of roommates. What do you do then?
Absolutely. So what's really important for people to consider if they're going to look at this option is doing what's called, you know, a co-ownership agreement, right? So before you even get into this, what you want to do is you want to draft an agreement that tells how much each person's going to own, what's the exit strategy, what are going to be the rules of the house, right? How do you want to live in the house? So that when that time comes, because people will move on, you already know how you're going to exit.
Plus the other person's going to want, I mean, he's doing the same thing you are, he or she, to get into the first home, but you know, somebody's going to get ownership of the house and somebody's not, right?
Right, exactly, exactly. So as long as you know those things going in, then that's going to make it much easier. And then maybe you decide, hey, let's do this again. And so you turn that into an investment property and go buy another personal primary residence.
Right, okay, I see. Would that be the con, trying to figure out who's going to do what?
Certainly. That is one thing that you really want to get out of, you know, talk about right at the beginning. Another con is, well, you know, you are going to have maintenance to pay. You're going to have utilities, where sometimes in rentals, you don't have to worry about maintenance. So it's just something to think about. It's something for those home buyers that have some good credit, maybe some savings put aside, that really want to get a launch on their real estate investment and stop paying someone else and paying themselves.
What about getting a mortgage? Can 2 people each get a mortgage for the same house?
They can. It's no different than a husband and wife getting a mortgage. So a lender looks at it as just 2 people.
They're just going to be separate though, right?
They're going to be separate. And there's ways that title can also make sure you do tenant in common. There's definitely ways that this can be done very easily. And it's been done for a long time. And we're just seeing that trend raise over the past few years.
How many people are doing this right now?
Usually about 15% of homeowners right now we're seeing doing this trend.
It seems like when I was young, I mean, it was, if you could get your first home in your 20s, that was great. You were doing something. What is there a typical age right now where people are getting their first home? Is it higher?
You know, it has gotten higher, and a lot of that is just because it's so hard to afford a home right now. So you're seeing a lot of parents jump in and help their kids buy that first home for them. But now this new trend, I think, is giving people a little bit more independence with that, kind of getting away from the trend of having their parents help them out. But we are seeing a lot more first home buyers kind of waiting until they can afford it.
Okay, Debbie, thank you so much. What part of the valley do you work?
So I'm in Arcadia, Paradise Valley, and Scottsdale.
You're in just all those areas where young people can really afford a home.
There are really great affordable options. There are.
Yes, I know. Maybe not in PV or Arcadia, but thank you so much. It's really an interesting topic.
Thanks for having me.